It seems these caves lead to an old abandoned Russian ICBM silo. Radiation traces indicate that the warheads could still be in there, so be vigilant. Good luck!
Target eliminated.
New mission objective. Standing by.
Sir? He's gone. Tango down. Tango down.
Sir? Yes, sir. Ready for action. Reporting for duty.
On the way. On the way. Team reporting. Moving out. Moving out. Help on the way. Tango down. Is history. Commandant?
Just great. Fighting a dream come true. I can prance around in guano.
He's gone.
Help on the way.
On the way.
Help on the way.
On the way.
Moving out.
Moving out on the way.
On the way. On the way.
Yes, sir. Moving out.
Team ready. Help on the way.
On
What
the way.
A tank. Those guys are nut jobs. Head for the bridge.
On the way. On the way. On the way. On the way. Moving out. On the way.
He's gone.
Moving out. Moving out. On the way.
Ready for action. Huh! On the way.
Team ready.
On the way. Moving out. Is history. Is history. Moving out. Moving out. On the way. On the way. On the way. On the way. Target eliminated. Scratch one, bad guy. Scratch one, bad guy. Moving out. On the way. 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 He's gone.
Wounded in the area.
Moving out. On the way.
Wounded in the area.
He's history.
Team reporting.
He's gone. Moving out. Tango down. Target eliminated.
On the way. Moving out.
Tango down.
On the way.
Tango down. Scratch one bad guy. He's gone.
On the way. On the way. Moving out. A mining train. Too bad it's out of order.
It's done.
Moving out. On the way. Moving out. Help on the way. Help on the way. Moving out. On the way. On the way. Help on the way. On the way. On the way. Moving out.
I don't like this bottleneck. Watch out, men.
Moving out.
He's history. Tango down. It's done. Scratch one bad guy.
Help on the way. Help on the way. Help on the way. Moving out. Moving out.
Reporting for duty. On the way. Moving out.
Team ready. On the way. Moving out. On the way. On the way. On the way. Moving out. On the way. On the way.
Target eliminated. He's history. Scratch one bad guy. He's history.
Freeze! Drop the gun!
I almost thought you'd never make it.
Drop the weapon! Now!
Take it easy, Matthew. I'm not here to do you any harm.
Cortland, I should have known. Put the gun away, Brett.
Fair enough. Boring conversation anyway.
What the hell have you done? That man...
You know they never talk.
I know they always talk to you. And most of the time, it was the last thing they ever did.
Whatever. Since when do you care anyway?
I always cared, Brett. I'm not like you.
That's touching. Surely all these guys felt much better knowing that you suffered with them. I assume you're looking for the rogue spear, huh? We could cooperate on this one.
What are you doing here, Cortland? Why the prison riot? Talk, or I'm gonna cooperate your ass right into arrest.
Oh, please, give me a break. You of all should know how this works. I do not exist, and you are not authorized to use methods that would make me talk about my mission anyway. Besides, how many of your men can you waste trying to guard me? Come on, Matt, be smart now. What's it gonna be?
We'll talk later.
Hey,
mission
Matt,
objective.
just like back in the day, huh?
Target eliminated.
Tango down. Target eliminated. Scratch one bad guy. Scratch one bad guy.
On the way. On the way. Help on the way.
On the way, on the way. Moving out. Moving out. Greased. Scratch one. Scratch one. Greased.
Help on the way.
Moving out.
What do you need? Orders? Sir? Orders? Orders?
Moving out. Moving out. I'm listening.
Moving out.
On the way. Jump on the way.
Moving out. Bones here. Moving out.
On the way. Team ready. Jump on the way. Team ready.
Sir, yes, sir.
Go.
Yes.
What do you need?
He's gone.
I'm listening.
Tango down.
What do you need? Early, mate. Ho! Moving out. What do you need? Early, mate. Early, mate. As good as that, no problem, mate. On the way. On the way.
Wounded in the area. Vehicle lost.
On the way.
Sir? Orders? What do you need? As good as that.
On the way. On the way. On the way. On the way. Moving out. On the way. On the way. On the way. On the way. I got that. Ho! Moving out. On the way. Moving out. On the way. On the way. On the way. Yes, sir. Moving out. Moving out. Ho! On the way. I read you. Help on the way.
He's history.
On the way. Greased. Oh, too easy. I'm listening. Help on the way. On the way. On the way.
He's gone.
On the way. On the way. Too easy. They never learn.
Scratch one bad guy.
On the way. On the way. On the way. On the way.
Engaging.
On the way.
Engaging.
Tango down. On the way. On the way.
He's history.
Help on the way. He's history. On the way. Moving out. Help on the way. He's history. He's history. Moving out. On the way.
Target eliminated.
Too easy.
Scratch one bad guy.
Help on the way. Help on the way. On the way. On the way. Moving out. On the way. On the way. On the way. On the way. Moving out. Moving out. He's history. On the way. On the way.
Engaging.
Go! On the way.
Team reporting.
Moving out. Help on the way. Moving out. Help on the way.
Wounded in the area.
Moving out.
Too easy. Greased.
His history. Target eliminated. Target eliminated.
On the way. Moving out. Help on the way. He's dead.
Scratch one.
Deployment complete.
Waiting for orders. On the way.
Orders?
Ho!
Orders?
Team reporting.
Help on the way. Moving out. On the way. On the way. On the way. Moving out.
Scratch one bad guy. Tango down.
On the way. Help on the way. On the way. On the way. On the way. Moving out. Help on the way. Help on the way. On the way. On the way. On the way. On the way.
Scratch one.
On the way. Moving out. Help on the way.
Tango down. He's gone. He's gone. Target eliminated. He's history. Target eliminated. He's gone. Scratch one bad guy.
Yes, sir.
Greased.
Help on the way. Moving out. Help on the way.
Scratch one, bad guy.
Got him!
Target
Area
eliminated.
secure, sir.
Is this your new sidekick, Matt? Boy, I feel sad for you.
Shut the fuck up. I'll shove my gun up your ass.
Son, those are my famous last words to hear.
Both of you shut up. We don't have time for this.
Sorry, Mom.
On the way. He's history.
He's greased.
On the way. Moving out.
Too easy.
On the way. On the way.
Engaging.
He's greased.
Moving out.
He's gone.
Moving out. Moving out. Attack!
Priest!
On the way. On the way.
Scratch one.
On the way.
Get in.
Only if you don't know the override code.
Guess you know it.
Well, some of them did talk after all.
Don't play games with me, Brett. Cover your eyes. Flashbang.
That was easy.
Cortland, you worthless piece of shit. Give me some C4. We're going in.
Scratch one, bad guy.
He's greased.
Oh! Moving out. On the way.
Target down.
Moving out. That spineless piece of shit Cortland must have escaped through that vent hole. Should we follow him, sir?
Negative. He probably left some nasty surprises for us. And our first priority is the bomb.
Hey, this can't be a bomb. I don't see a red countdown display.
Oh, it's Russian. They just have women called Natasha or Tanya to count down for you manually.
Can't wait for that.
I bet. Now let's get this wrapped up, gentlemen. How's your arm?
It's fine. I'll be good soon. Listen, I never had the chance to thank you before.
It's all right, ma'am. I was just doing my job.
Yeah, I guess. Your job.
Anything wrong?
You know, I've never understood soldiers. I could never comprehend how someone could voluntarily do the things you do.
I wish I had an answer, ma'am. The more I think about it, the less sense it makes to me sometimes. I guess everyone does what they must do, or maybe what they're meant to. The poet writes, the reverend preaches. In the end, no one wants to die in a trench, ma'am.
My name's Pepper, by the way. Mom makes me feel like 400 years old.
So what's your story? We keep bumping into you in the hairiest places, after all.
Well, compared to the Detroit neighborhood I grew up in, it's pretty safe here, actually. I've been working the region for years now, and I've been assigned as the network's JTF expert. So I go where you go. Can I have a sip?
Not a bad album, actually. I like AC/DC better, though.
Well, I guess there might be hope for you after all, Colonel.